Good afternoon. I'm Jarrett Banks of IPO Edge, Corp Gov and Exec Edge here on the sidelines of the ICR Conference in Orlando, 2023, joined by my esteemed guest, Chris Tomasso, the CEO of First Watch, which is under the ticker FWRG. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the daytime dining concept.
Yeah, so First Watch Restaurants, we're a full service breakfast, brunch, and lunch concept. We've got about 470 restaurants in 29 states. Been around for 4 decades. We're only open from 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And we're fast growing, high growth concept. We don't have any heat lamps, heat fryers, microwaves in our restaurants. We're kind of known for fresh and healthy alternatives to breakfast and brunch and lunch. And we've got a lot of innovation around the menu and fresh ingredients, high quality ingredients, just a really differentiated experience for breakfast, brunch, and lunch.
All right. How has business been in the last year?
Business has been great. We had a really good 2022. Looking forward to getting into 23, and hopefully some of the challenges and headwinds that we faced in 22 will be behind us. I'm sure there'll be new ones though. But First Watch has had a long track record of delivering solid results, and we went public just about a year ago in October 21, and so we really got our first year as a public company under our belt, and it was a solid year for us.
Right. What are some of the challenges that you mentioned going forward here?
Well, some of the ones we faced obviously is the commodity inflation, just the overall inflationary environment. Same with wages. I mean, that was a challenge. The recovery from COVID still, I think, with a couple of Omicron and other things that jumped up. But for the most part, we feel like we're past that now. We recovered more quickly than most, and we're fortunate for that. But going into this year, we're hoping for some easing of the commodity. I'm sure it's not the first time you've heard that from people you've talked to here today. Right. But we're hoping for some easing there and really hopefully a return to normalcy.
Okay, now you've had stronger traffic growth than some of your peers, some of your competitors in recent quarters. What do you think's behind that?
Well, a couple of things. I think the results that we're experiencing now, I think is based on decisions that we made a long time ago. So, for example, one of the things we did is we were one of the few, if not the only concept that didn't take price in 2020. We felt like the consumer was still trying to figure out where they were going to go out to eat, how often they would go out to eat, were they comfortable going back to restaurants, and so we chose not to raise prices then and hopefully strengthen our value proposition with our customers. The other piece of it is our teams. They're happy. We have lower than industry average turnover. They're only working until 2:30 in the afternoon. They get to be home with their families every night. So not a lot of turnover. And we didn't have the hiring challenges that a lot of other concepts had. Most of our employees came back after COVID, and that's been able to help differentiate us, and they welcome the customer back, and the customer felt good about it.
Okay, speaking of those customers, in your mind, what is it about First Watch that really resonates with them?
I think a couple of things. One, we are, I think we're perfectly aligned with some long-term consumer trends, and that is, the consumer wants to eat healthy. They want to know where their food comes from. They want high quality ingredients. We have all that. But more importantly, the breakfast day part in general has just been the only day part in the restaurant industry that's shown growth over the past 5 to 7 years. So we're perfectly aligned to meet the consumer where they want to be. And I think they appreciate the care in which we prepare the food, the fact that we don't microwave, have heat lamps and heat fryers and things like that. So, I don't see that as a short-term fad. That's a long-term trend. The consumer's going to continue to want to eat healthy, and we're right there with it.
What was behind the decision to not include alcohol?
So it's just that it was never part of the DNA of the company until 4 years ago. And I think actually it's a huge testament to the brand. And I'll tell you why, because about 7 years ago, we did an exercise where we said, what are our brand truths? And one of them was that we would never serve alcohol, that we would always be a family restaurant. But obviously over the last couple of years, this boozy brunch and that occasion has really started to grow. And when we looked at our opportunity to continue to be relevant for years to come, we said, okay, it might be time for us to start thinking about that. So we rolled it out in 2019, started the rollout, and we've been rolling it out, and it's been great. We did reach out to a lot of our current customers and said, if we offered alcohol, how would you feel about that? And they said, look, as long as you're not doing bottomless mimosas, and all you can drink, and that if you do it in the right way, in the First Watch way, they'd be okay with it, and that's how it's transpired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned innovation earlier. Tell us a little bit about that, and also some of the awards that you've won for that innovation.
Yeah, so our culinary team does a tremendous job. We have 5 seasonal menus a year. It gives them an opportunity to flex their muscle and do some really exciting menu items throughout the year. So they do that, and it creates menu news for our customers, for our employees, and gives us a chance to kind of spread our wings a little bit. And that's how we started to introduce seafood like shrimp and grits or crafty Benedict or some premium proteins. And yeah, we won a Menu Masters Award last year. And it's the second time we won a Menu Masters Award in the last 10 years or so. And they take a lot of pride in that. But our customers love our seasonal menus. We've got some fun items on them. There's always a seasonal juice, and they're shareable. So we had our cinnamon spice donuts or our pumpkin donuts during the fall that consumers just really love.
Okay, I'm getting hungry just
Yeah.
listening to this.
There's a First Watch a mile and a half away if you want to go.
Fantastic. Now, let's talk about how you're using technology to boost the business.
Yeah, I mean, we use technology in a number of ways. Probably our most used technology is our waitlist management application that's built in our app. So on any given weekend, we could be on a long wait, and you're able to put your name on our wait list from your phone, and it tells you exactly where you are in line, when your kids will be ready, and it allows you to kind of control the experience until it's time for your kid to be ready. So a large percentage of our consumers use that to manage their weight. And then we just implemented a kitchen display system in the back of the house to help us improve our throughput so that we can reduce those wait times, increase our peak sales hours. So it's really all about serving that demand that we have.
Geographically, tell us where you are. You said there's one down the road, but where else are you?
Well, we're in 29 states, so we're based in Sarasota, Florida, but we are as far out west as Denver and Phoenix. We're up the eastern seaboard all the way to New Jersey. We're in the Midwest to Milwaukee and Chicago. So 29 states. We're not all the way out to California yet. We're not in New England, not in the Pacific Northwest, but we believe we've got potential for 2,200 locations. So I really think it's just a matter of time before we get there.
Right. What do you think a focus will be from operators in 2023?
I think retention is a big piece of it. The tide's turning a little bit as far as being able to hire and be able to staff up. So keeping those folks after you've invested the money to train them, I think will be a key. Also for us, again, managing the commodities and making sure that we're able to bring in the quality ingredients that we want and do it at a right price point. And I think the consumer's really going to be looking for value. They're going to be looking for consistency, and they're going to be looking for a place they trust. And if they are choosing to dine out less, we want to be in that consideration. So we want to have those 3 criteria so that they'll choose you if they are going.
Okay, and lastly, what are you most excited about for 2023?
I'm excited about bringing First Watch to new markets. I really get excited when we enter a new market and we're well received. Really, they shouldn't really know anything about us or for us to have any brand recognition there. We go into a new market and we're so well received from the get-go. I really get excited about that. We haven't announced what our new market will be for 2023. We will be soon, but I'm expecting big things out of it.
All right, Chris Tomasso, the CEO of First Watch Restaurant Group. It's been Jarrett Banks of IPO Edge signing off.